Electric vehicle market share of 50% in 2030. You know, how stupid do they really think Americans are? Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to have you here on the YouTube channel that makes more videos about electric cars than anyone else. Martin from Clean Technica just wrote an article that I really enjoyed reading. And I'm going to share it with you because you should know about this too. The legacy auto industry, the UAW, and the Biden administration reached an agreement at the infamous EV summit at the White House in August of 2021, when they didn't invite Tesla, of course. They would work towards what they think is an ambitious goal, 50% electric market share by 2030. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on the way you perceive this goal, for me, you probably already know how I perceive this goal. Plans are being put in place now in order to get to 50%. Congress is authorizing the government spending. The Detroit Shrinking 3 are publishing their plans for battery factories, announcing new fully electric platforms and models, and retrofitting factories, or basically building new ones from scratch. The mainstream media are applauding and wondering if it is not too ambitious. They listen in awe to their self-appointed leader of the global EV transition, General Motors CEO Mary Barra. In 2030, a 50% electric market share. How stupid do they really think Americans are? I know it's become fashionable to hate on Americans or to say Americans are stupid. It has. But honestly, you know what my response to this is? Who started most of the world's big companies? Who started them? Where do they come from? They came from America. Where is the money, believe it or not? Yeah, there's more billionaires in America than any other country. Why? Probably because Americans aren't as stupid as people think. So these smart people in government and industry did not ask themselves why half of car buyers would choose tailpipe vehicles which suck, while the other half would buy vehicles without a tailpipe. This is not politics, where the people are not really interested and can be led by the nose by simple marketing slogans. When buying a vehicle, they know what they are doing, usually. Not always, but usually. I mean, here in Australia, there are a lot of sheep, unfortunately. There's a lot of idiots when it comes to what the car they buy. They don't do any research or read reviews. They ask their mate that they work with. Mate, what car should I buy, mate? Oh, you got that? You got a Toyota? All right, mate. I'll get one too, mate. Yeah. Anyway, my point here, in 2030, everyone will know that internal combustion engine vehicles are not only more expensive to operate, more expensive to buy, but disastrously expensive to purchase outright, because resale value will be virtually nothing within a couple of years. Here's a quick explanation of what is changing this decade if you're new. Battery prices decline by half every 5 years historically. With all the new research, it is more likely to be more than that this decade. Battery density, energy density, has doubled every 14 years. But with the new types of batteries coming to market, it is likely we will see a doubling in 10 years or even less. Translate these numbers into product development compared to 2020. We can see a battery with the same size and weight with double the range for half the price in 2030, or a battery with the same range that costs only a quarter as much and weighs half of current batteries. I've been trying to tell people this and nobody seems to be listening, or at least I know you guys are, but people outside of this channel just don't seem to recognize the reality of what's happening. A battery electric vehicle is far simpler to make, with fewer parts and fewer workers than a comparable gas vehicle. That's the reason for the job losses. Current costs are high because the number of vehicles being made are relatively small and the technology is fairly new. With more experience and larger production volumes, prices will inevitably drop. The next generation Renault Zoe, aka the Renault RS, is expected to be 40% cheaper in 2024, for example. Other car makers will see the same improvements in production and design years before 2030. The fully electric versions of all types of cars and trucks will become both cheaper and better than their competing versions with a tailpipe. And that is an understatement. They'll be far cheaper and far better. Now, it's not like in the previous decade when only green, rich, coastal lefties were willing to buy those newfangled electric contraptions. Now, everybody knows the benefits and the drawbacks of the different vehicle choices. All the arguments, pro and contra, are discussed ad infinitum over beer and at dinner. Again, it is not political or abstract economics. This is their own driving experience and their own wallets. Things they care and know everything about. In 2030, one choice is far superior to the other, offering a better driving experience and much lower costs at the exact same time, and an actual resale value that is worth more than peanuts when it comes time to sell. So why should half of the American car buyers waste their money on a far inferior product that will be worth possibly nothing within a matter of a few years? The point is, they won't. They won't do this. They'll simply choose the only real option. They won't choose to buy an ancient analog Nokia mobile phone. They'll choose a smartphone. I mean, seriously, how many people now buy those old phones? They don't. Nobody sells them anymore. Do the big three think that people are so loyal to Detroit that they will buy a product that is ready for the scrapyard before it is even out of warranty? I don't think so. Because it will be so outdated that it will be unusable by the time it comes to actually sell it. If Detroit cannot get its house in order and its factories converted to production of pure battery electric vehicles, Americans will buy imports, like they did with the Japanese economy boxes in the 1970s or high-quality luxury sedans in recent decades. When the differences are well understood, and they will be, and one powertrain is much better than the alternative, the market will choose the better offering. It will not be 50%. Demand will be close to 100% for the superior new technology. Yes, even in America. The biggest problem will be the used car market, not the new car market. It is bigger than the new car market, and it depends on the new car sales from 5 to 15 years earlier. The hunger in the used car market for electric vehicles will be as big as in the new car market, with nowhere to get enough supply from. Solving that riddle and building the charging infrastructure needed, those are the ambitious goals they should pursue. But remember, to keep in mind, resale value will be dramatically affected by the fact that the general public will become aware within the next few years that internal combustion engine vehicles really are inferior. That includes plug-in hybrids, which are a technological nightmare. So that's why I suggest you avoid those two types of vehicles. If you have any concern over how much you'll be able to sell your car for. In 2030, the US auto market will have an approximately 100% market share. The market can be 50% of the current market size without enough production capacity and with no imports, but it won't be 50% gasmobiles. I think it's going to be quite funny when you see an old guy, right, like some 80-year-old driving his electric vehicle, taking off from the lights, not even trying, and just easily beating a sports car. I mean, realistically, right now, you can buy, a Tesla Model S Plaid, and you can destroy supercars. But in 10 years' time, the average electric car that is anywhere just a little bit above decent will be able to destroy today's sports cars without even trying. So it's going to be kind of amusing seeing that happen regularly. And I think that's going to play a big part in this transition. Believe it or not, people do care about that. People care about feeling like they've been embarrassed. Do you remember a time when smartphones were only bought by wealthy people? They were really expensive. Well, today, all the technology has trickled down. Even the cheaper smartphones today are significantly better than the first iPhones that came out. Technology trickles down. It's what's always happened. Every single invention has followed this trend, and it will be the same with electric cars. Let me know in the comment section below. What percentage of Americans do you think will want to buy an electric car in 2030? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.